Here with Mr. Robert McGee Sr., the father of R.J. McGee, guard for the Kenwood Broncos. Mr. McGee, thank you, sir, for doing this interview with me.
No problem.
Sir, first of all, why basketball? Why R.J. chose basketball as his passion?
That's a good question. Well, we had a home in the suburbs. We're in the city now. And in the driveway, there was a hoop. I couldn't get the hoop fixed, so it would hang low. It's one of those jobs to do this and do that. And it was really, really low. In the beginning, I didn't know what he was going to play. He had a basketball and a football, and we would do all of them, and a baseball. And literally, we would spend time, he and I in the yard, playing, throwing the football, throwing the baseball, bought him a glove, taught him how to catch with the glove, all that. So before any of this, I'm talking about, he's 4, maybe 3 years old. We're doing all of this, and even in, he was like 5 years old, I took him to his first basketball camp. But anyway, at that point, he wasn't really decided, and who is at 5, right? But the passion came along when he stopped. He wouldn't even really play with the football and baseball anymore. He left baseball altogether. When he was big enough to dunk on that rim that was hanging, it was really low, it didn't take a lot to dunk. But after the first dunk, it was basketball from then on. So I'd say since about 5 or 6 years old, he didn't want to play anything else. Everything was basketball.
Any player that he idolized growing up? Any player he watched growing up?
Tracy McGrady, T-Mac.
T-Mac.
This is when I knew it was over for RJ. He played the video game, 2K, whatever it was, and he had Tracy McGrady. This was the Tracy McGrady on the Orlando Magic, Tracy McGrady. I came downstairs after the game was over. He was like, "Dad, look at this." I looked at the screen when they showed the stats. Tracy McGrady, out of 103 points, had 99 points. No assists, nothing else. And from that moment on, he was a Tracy McGrady fan. And if you look at his phone right now, he'll have Tracy McGrady on it. If you go, we have a Mac at home. Every device that he has, his screensaver is Tracy McGrady. Every device. I mean, every device.
Tell me about him at home. You know, I can see his passion on the basketball court when he's guarding his opponent. Mm-hmm. Tell him how he is, off the bat. Tell me how he is off the basketball court. How is RJ, a regular RJ at home?
I don't want to call him goofy, but he has a younger sister, Tia, mm-hmm. and he's just almost kind of a TV big brother, just always messing with his sister. Not really bad, but just antagonizing her to a point where, But anyway, he's a good kid. He's really, really, I don't want to use the words regular, but if you didn't know that he played basketball, there would be no indication at home that he was an athlete or an athlete of some level of reputation. You won't notice any of that. He's, has to take out the trash, has to help clean up the kitchen, gets yelled at for having a messy room, all of these things. But a good kid. He's always very respectful. He is his grandmother and grandfather's, I don't want to call them favorite, but they are doting grandparents on RJ. If you come to the game, you'll see his granddad, who has diabetes and still makes it to just about all the games. So, just a good kid. As a parent, I don't have any real problems outside of a couple of subjects at school, but outside of that, nothing. He's a good kid.
And I was just about to follow up on that. How is he in school academically? What do you teach him about the importance of education? Know he's a good basketball player. He wants to go farther with this game. But tell me about him as him educationally, that, hey, RJ, if you do these things in school, this can take you farther, in life.
Right. I would say this year is the year that he finally seemed to take it a little bit more seriously. He was never a bad student. He was just not a great student. And that has been a problem. Like getting a B or a C plus or a B minus, he could do that. And early on, I was upset with him because it seemed like that's all he wanted. I want to do enough to keep my grades right so I can still
mediocrity.
Right, and mediocrity. And I challenged him to, get past that. To me, He's done a lot better this year, but it's still not where it needs to be. Right now, if you look on the parent portal, you'll see he has all A's and B's. Some of those B's are a little low. And my challenge to him is, you are a better student. You have the capability to be a very good student. And I don't think he's taking that challenge as seriously as he needs to. He's on the right path now. Before he was just here. So now he's trending upward. We just got to keep stay focused on that. I believe one does not work without the other. I think he initially was getting the C's and D's as an attempt to stay on the court. What I'm trying to help, I've always been, but what he's now listening to, that's the key. What he's now understanding is the better the grades, the better the prospect. And I think that's what fueled his him coming on as of late, trying to get the best grades possible. We still got a ways to go, but it's better than it was.
Well, that's a good thing that he's heading into the right direction, Mr. McGee. Mr. McGee, tell me about a time when RJ was young that he faced adversity and a time that he kind of took it upon himself to really see it through. And you didn't really have a part in it, but you like, hey, I'm there, son, if you need me. But he kind of took it upon himself to get it, to do it, to figure it out himself.
Wow, he's always faced challenges athletically with the teams. Even though what you see now is pretty much what he's been doing, I just don't know. But anyway, one that I can point to and talk about, because it came full circle, is here at Kenwood. He had a very good freshman year. He played Frost-Off on his freshman team. I mean, he played Frost-Off his freshman year. He was either the first or second person, I would think, in all the statistical categories. I'm talking about rebounds, steals, assists, and points. He was an integral part to the team. He started, and then after that year, there was some talk about whether or not he was going to play varsity and Frost-Off, whatever. And that weighed on him a little bit. But even outside of that, what we discovered, I took him to several physical therapists. He had problems with his knees. Several physical therapy guys at some of the best hospitals here in Chicago. I'm talking about Northwestern, I'm talking about Rush. The guys at Rush were supposed to be the best in the business, and I took them there. Nothing. So what I did before the season started was, I know that I could see that he was not as athletic as he could be. And I'm like, this kid is. I just don't know why. He could either play short periods of time at very high athletically, you know what I mean, but not long enough to sustain it, so you could see the difference. So anyway, I took him to a place called Body Gears. They were great, but upon the initial assessment, the guy who was working him out said he will need to be out for, did he say 12 weeks, 11 weeks, or something like that? I thought he was going to say 3 or 4. 11, 12 is the entire season. So that's that's what happened. And he wound up missing a season, so we don't know. He didn't really get a chance to, that season he didn't play until the playoffs in February. So it was right before the first game. This was late October, early November, all the way through February. So he missed that sophomore season, and time away from basketball at that particular stage is kind of integral. Why? You need to be on the court, you need to be getting better, you need to be hopefully playing some varsity level games and trying to get ahead of the curve. So for this year, so I basically saying he missed his sophomore season, which could have set him back as far as things go, but he fought his way through it. He came back. He did twice the work. Physical therapy went great. He had to get back and shake off the rust. He started back playing as the season ended last year, the regular season. They were playing spring ball, and right before the summer kicked off. And those first couple of games, he didn't look good at all. But, you know, he stuck with it. He stuck with it. He stuck with the physical therapy. He stuck with trying to work his way back and trying to work his way back into the rotation. And when we look at where he was versus where he is now, he started on varsity most of the games, at least the last 10 games he started. He's an integral part of the team now. He plays a big role in the team's defense. He tries to chip in offense where he can. But he was the one that fought through all of that. And the mental, you know, some of the stuff wore on him mentally, and he fought his way through it. So I think that's it. Yeah.
Mr. McGee, name a time that you was most proud of RJ. What he done. It don't have to be on a basketball court, just anything.
Overall, on the basketball court, I would have to say just, you know, there's always been moments like I was talking about. Always. In grade school, there were a couple of moments when, you know, he kind of got knocked down with the AAU thing. There were a couple of moments when, you know, he kind of took it on the chin from some coaches or on a team or whatever. And just his ability to be resilient, you know what I mean? And it really made him tougher. Like in grade school, a kid came to the school and wound up taking what we assumed would be his starting position in 7th grade. So RJ was coming off the bench in 7th grade. He started in 8th grade, but you know, it's things like that and just stuff like that would happen over and over again. Not just kids starting over him, but just playing with a team, things not working out, go to a new team, and just